19 of the fantasy baseball season. I know most leagues the trade deadline is up and over for most leagues, but right now some leagues I know still players are getting traded and the trade deadline is up this week. So here's a few hitters I look to sell high and trade away this week. The first guy is Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. So Judge, he's been having a pretty good season here and staying healthy. 26 home runs, 63 RBIs, 63 runs scored, 4 stolen bases, a 286 average, and a 375 on base. So right here, this Yankee team's been hot while Judge has been on fire. And the last couple weeks for him, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, 9 runs scored, a 321 average, and a 397 on base with 2 stolen bases. So Aaron Judge, he's been playing good baseball for this Yankee team, no doubt about it. But I don't think his batting average is going to stay this high, and we've seen it throughout his career with a lower batting average in the 240s, 250s, and also the injury bug, which luckily so far this season, this deep into the season, he hasn't got injured. But right now, I think he's going to cool off, and you definitely could get a lot for Judge. So right now, while he's at peak value, it's definitely time to trade him high, and I think you could get a good hitter and a decent starting pitcher for him. The last few games for Judge: August 11th at Kansas City, 2 for 5 with a run and an RBI. August 12th at the White Sox, 2 for 4, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. August 14th at the White Sox, 3 for 4, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. August 15th at the White Sox, 0 for 2. August 16th versus the Angels, 2 for 3 with a run. And in the doubleheader yesterday versus the Boston Red Sox, 1 for 6 with a run and a stolen base. So great numbers, putting up numbers. But right now, I think he's going to go back into a slump as Judge. And while he's been hot over the last couple weeks, it's time to sell him off. The next hitter I look to trade off Dansby Swanson of the Atlanta Braves. So it's been a great season here for Swanson and a really good bounce back as well. 24 home runs, 72 RBIs, 63 runs scored, 9 stolen bases, a 262 batting average, and a 313 on base in the last couple weeks here for Swanson. 4 homers, 14 RBIs, 13 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, a 389 average, and a 414 on base. So right there, those are big and great numbers here for Swanson. But he's another guy throughout his career like Judge, not a big batting average hitter, and a guy that I don't think is going to keep up all this power and these big stats here. So right now, I know he's a shortstop, and that even adds to his value. While we know shortstop's a weak position in fantasy baseball for the most part over the last few seasons. So the last few games here for Swanson: August 11th versus the Reds, 0 for 4 with an RBI. August 12th versus Cincinnati, 2 for 3, an RBI, a stolen base. August 13th at Washington, 2 for 4 with a homer and an RBI. August 14th at Washington, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. August 15th at Washington, 2 for 5, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. August 16th at Miami, 2 for 6, 2 RBIs and 2 runs. And August 17th at Miami, 0 for 4. So right here, he's taking great advantage. Teams here is Dansby Swanson. And it's good to see him go off. It's good to see him have a bounce back season. But right now, I don't think it's going to last for him. And he's a player I definitely would sell high. And I think I could get a good package or a great 1-for-1 deal for him. The next hit is C.J. Cron, Colorado Rockies. So C.J. Cron, he's been a recommended pickup in the last couple weeks here. And this guy, he's on fire now. 21 homers on the season, 65 RBIs, 51 runs scored, a stolen base, a 266 average, and a 374 on base. But the last couple weeks here, he's been the best hitter in all of fantasy baseball. Ranked number 1, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs, 11 runs scored, a 415 average, and a 510 on base. So C.J. Cron throughout his career, we know the power numbers are definitely legit for him. But the high batting average for him, obviously, that's way over his head, this Cron. He's usually a 200 to 210 hitter, and this season to be hitting 266, and over the last couple weeks they're hitting over 400. It's just not going to last for him, and I think you could get a great starting pitcher in a deal for Cron. So the last few games: August 11th at Houston, 1 for 4 with an RBI. August 12th at the Giants, 1 for 3. August 13th at the Giants, 3 for 5 with a rib. August 14th at the Giants, 1 for 3, a homer, 2 RBIs. August 15th at the Giants, 0 for 3. August 16th versus San Diego, 2 for 3 with a homer and RBI. And August 17th versus San Diego, 2 for 4 with a homer and an RBI and a run. So right here, he's putting up numbers. He's showing the power, but I just don't think the average is going to stay this hot. and I think the power numbers are going to take a little bit of a hit too. But right now, he's playing good baseball, and while he's doing that, he's definitely a sell high candidate. The next hit is Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Lowe, he got off to a slow start early in the year, but now he's really got things going, especially in the power department. 28 home runs on the season, 69 RBIs, 70 runs scored, still only a 233 average and a 338 on base on the season, with also 5 stolen bases. And the last couple weeks here for Lowe, 5 homers, 14 RBIs, a 340 average and a 396 on base with 12 runs scored. So right here, his batting average is way up there as low, and that's definitely not going to stay legit in my opinion. I know the power numbers are legit for Lowe this season, but that batting average is going to take a dip, and he was hitting 210 for most of the season here till he got hot in the last 3 weeks here as Lowe. So right now, while he's given average and obviously the power, this is a perfect time to trade him high, and I think you could get a good deal for him. He qualifies at first, second, and outfield, so with his hot streak and versatility, he's a perfect sell high candidate, in my opinion. August 12th in Boston for him, 1 for 3 with a run and a rib. August 13th in Minnesota, 2 for 5. August 14th in Minnesota, 0 for 4. August 15th in Minnesota, 0 for 1. August 16th versus Baltimore, 3 for 4, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. And August 17th versus Baltimore, 1 for 4 with a run and a rib. So those are pretty good numbers here, no doubt about it for Lowe. But like I mentioned, with versatility and him playing great baseball right now, he's definitely a sell high candidate. And the 5th and final hitter I look to sell high and trade away this week, Jesus Aguilar of the Miami Marlins. So Aguilar, he's been playing great this season, 22 homers, 84 RBIs, which is definitely up there amongst the league leaders, 268 average, 335 on base, and 45 runs scored in the last couple weeks for him, a 316 average, a 395 on base, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. So right now he's on a little bit of a hot streak here, is Aguilar. But the RBIs are legit in the power, but the batting average in the last month's been 244. So over the last couple weeks is where he stepped it up, and more teams, they're pitching around them. As we know, the Miami Marlins are one of the worst hitting teams in Major League Baseball. So right now I think Aguilar's numbers are going to go down, and I don't think he's going to keep hitting at this torrid pace, even though he's amongst the league leaders in RBIs this season. The last few games for him, August 13th versus the Cubs, 1 for 4 with a homer, 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. August 14th versus Chicago, 0 for 2 with a run. August 15th versus the Cubs, 3 for 4, a homer, 2 RBIs. August 16th versus Atlanta, 1 for 4. And August 17th versus Atlanta, 0 for 1. So right here, like I mentioned, he's not going to stay hot for this long. Teams are going to start pitching around him because he's really one of the only true threats in this Marlin offense. And I just don't see him continuing at this pace here as Aguilar. So I know it's been a great season, but right now, while he's been playing the best baseball for him this season in the last few weeks, it's definitely time to sell him high and get a good deal for him. So that's a few hitters I look to sell high and trade away here in Week 19 of the fantasy baseball season.